Thank you so much for taking some time to speak with us today. You were able to watch history unfold right in front of your eyes among thousands of people right next to you at St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City. How incredible was that moment for you?
It was honestly really surreal to be able to be there with not even just tens of thousands of other Catholics, but we met people from all different types of faith backgrounds just there because it is such a historical moment for the whole world. The whole world was watching Vatican City, Rome, everything that's been happening, and to be waiting in anticipation, and then finally at the third smoke watch, be able to see the white smoke. It was incredible.
Yeah, and it all happened really fast. I think it was unexpected for a lot of people. Wasn't sure, how long the whole process would take. And to have this done so quickly, were you surprised or caught off guard by that?
Yeah, so I attempted to plan my extended trip in order to catch it all, but I think more and more people at each smoke, there was more people at each smoke watch because I think as each one passed, there was more votes being cast, and we kind of figured we'd be getting closer. But everyone in the square was, I think, really surprised that we got it because the Pope was chosen only after what seemed like only probably four votes with the timing that happened. Um, the previous popes, it was I think five and then six, but I know it happened later and it happened so quick. Especially last night, we were waiting for hours and hours until the smoke to come. So everyone brought snacks today and water and was ready for the long haul. And then we were pleasantly surprised to see the white smoke early.
Yeah. Were you there on your own or with family, friends?
So I traveled on my own here. I thought, I might be experiencing it alone or with the people around me, but I had a couple of friends. One of my friends lives in Florence and she was in Rome for the conclave. So I've been spending time with her. So I was able to spend time with her and some other friends that I met, the last few days.
Yeah.
It was really exciting.
Now, your trip, was it planned beforehand, or did you plan this in order to be here for the conclave and the whole process and the election of the new pope?
So, I actually turned 30 back in March. So this was like a 30th birthday trip. So I left on Palm Sunday back in April. And then I intended to be in Rome for Easter week. So I saw Pope Francis on his last day that he was living. And then we found out on Easter Monday, unfortunately, he passed. So I was supposed to leave. I traveled through Italy. I went to Amsterdam. I was supposed to fly home, but instead I flew back to Italy for another little over a week. So
Yeah.
I specifically extended to come to the conclave. I thought, this is kind of once in a lifetime type of opportunity because who knows where I'll be in life in the future. Right now, I'm single. I don't have any kids, so
Mhm.
it's I have like the time and the opportunity to come, so I didn't want to miss out on it.
Yeah, what you just pointed out, being there in Pope Francis's last moments, the blessing on Easter, and then being here for, the greeting of the new pope known as Pope Leo the 14th. How wonderful of a moment is that for you?
It really felt like a full circle moment for me because being able to like be present for the Pope's last, Pope Francis's last blessing, and now this Pope Leo the 14th, his first blessing, to the world. It was just, it felt really surreal and it meant a lot for me. I'm like always going to remember the moment, and especially being Catholic, this is something that's really important to me and it's significant. And I wish my family was here to experience it with me, but at least I'm able to, like represent for the family and be able to come home and tell them all about it.
Yeah, exactly. Such a beautiful moment that you were there for. Him being the first American Pope, from Chicago. And I know he did a lot of time spending most of his career in Peru and Rome, but being from America, does that bring even more of a special meaning to you?
Yes, I think so. So my friend that she lives in Florence, so she does speak some Italian, so she was able to be a little translator. So, but she was saying, "Hey, this is American. It's going to be an American Pope." Yeah. So I mean, I even like my friend, the people around us, they're like, "Oh, this is going to be an American Peruvian, Pope," but I'm, American, the first American Pope. I was not expecting that at all. I had my USA flag that I bring when I come to the Vatican. So, everyone was like, "Oh, you're American, you must be so excited." And I am. I mean, I was so like honored to be there. And then I was also so proud to also be American and to like represent, our country in Vatican City because he does share nationality with us. And I think that's just like it is like a unique and like special to be able to be there and to see all the American flags. I know everyone. I saw a few around the crowd, and everyone like I feel like all the Americans had a little bit of a bigger smile than everyone else because we've never had an American Pope, so it's a big thing for us. It's an honor.
Yes, definitely. And while you were there, being amongst the crowd, how did that feel? You were surrounded by people that were there for all the same reason, right? And to have, and feel that love and support for one person, um, did that inspire you?
I think it did. I think we had like a time of mourning for Pope Francis, and then when the conclave was going to start, I think there was just an excitement in the air, as we kept approaching the days because I've been in Rome, so you could just kind of feel it. And then yesterday, and especially today, you could just everyone was excited. And when we saw the white smoke coming out early, everyone was just cheering and jumping and waving their flags from all over the world. And people were asking me right after because they saw my American flag and were, some media was asking and just other people, what do you feel about this new pope? He's American, what's your opinions? And I said, well, when I saw the white smoke come out, it didn't matter who was going to walk out onto the red balcony. I was going to be excited either way. And so, um, it's just exciting to like have a new pope. It's kind of like like inviting a new like having a new family member, like we were missing like the head of the church. It was like an empty seat and now it's fulfilled again. And, the history of the church goes back, over 2,000 years. So it was an incredible moment to like be there with the crowd and everyone was so excited.
I bet. I can't even imagine. You know, watching on TV, they have the translation up there. So I was able to listen to everything that he was saying when he was greeting everybody and looking out. And you could just tell, he was overcome by all of the love and the support from all of the people. How close were you to him? Could you see that smile? Could you see that, he was waving and speaking to everyone?
Yeah, they had kind of had little barricades set up. We were actually in the first one. So it was maybe like 20 feet from the front where the public could go. And I had my little binocular so I could see him really good actually. Um, but he came out with like so much joy and like excitement. And I mean, I can't imagine the weight on someone's shoulders. Like you would think that they would be terrified. But I think you really see the grace of God in that moment because there's no way with all that weight, for him to come out like that joyful and seeing the crowd. I mean, it has to be, you know, some divine help because
Yes.
that's it's gonna be, this is a really great day, but obviously he's gonna have a lot of work ahead of him, but it'll all turn out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, when he was coming out, his first words were, "Peace be with you all." What does that mean to you?
For me, I just think that I think whenever we don't have a pope, there's like a little bit of unrest, you know? It's like we're missing like the father, you know, like the main leader. So to be able to like see the white smoke, it almost felt like a sigh of relief. Like, okay, like they've chosen somebody. And, you know, the majority has decided, you know, for us. And then um yeah, when he came out, everyone was just excited and it kind of felt like at peace. Like things kind of like went back to how they should be, you know, because it was kind of this weird in between, you know, and it's a natural like the way of life, but it felt good to have things settle and things kind of hit a groove and go back to normal.
Yes. During his speech, he also mentioned, blessing, everyone, that God loves everyone, mentioned Pope Francis and some of the things that he took away from him as well, talking about building bridges, being one common people, living always in peace. When you hear all of that, what are you hoping this future with the new Pope brings?
Um, so I'm excited to see like what characteristics like he brings. I think that Pope Francis had a ton of compassion and like love for everyone. You know, people bring up John Paul II. He was like amazing with like the youth and like theology of the body and everyone had has different strong points and like that they bring to the table. So I really hope that uh, Pope Leo XIV brings unity within the church. I think there's a lot of sometimes there's division and I just in the world in general. So I hope he's able to kind of like bring unity. And then I'm really curious and like have like a very like hopeful perspective on like what is his characteristics like 5, 10, 15 years down the line, depending on how long, he's Pope, like what are we going to remember Pope Leo XIV for? So I'm excited to see the legacy that he leaves.
Yeah, definitely. And I heard that you also took some items with you to possibly get blessed. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you were able to take those with you and if that happened, but tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so usually when me and my family like we go if we ever come like overseas to like see some of the holy sites like the Catholic Church like holds dear, we'll like bring some like religious items back. So I along the way I was in Portugal, Italy, and then Amsterdam. So I kind of got things from all along the way. Um and I was able to, I had my bag, I had all like the rosaries and the medals and crosses that I had got for my family and my friends, my loved ones. And yeah, that was just really special for me to bring it to them because, um, like this is, I'm not going to be able to like repeat that. Like that was the first blessing of the new Pope. So I think that's going to be really special, a really special gift that I'm going to be able to give to people.
Oh, yeah, it's bringing a piece of what you witnessed, a piece of history back to your loved ones here in San Antonio and kind of providing them with that special moment as well.
Yes, yeah, bringing a little piece of Vatican City and like the conclave and the Pope's new blessing back. So it was worth me carrying my big bag around the whole day.
And lastly, with it being such an incredible experience, a once in a lifetime, for many, do you think it has changed the way or will change the way that you look at things or look at the world? I mean, sometimes powerful moments can change a lot of things, a lot of aspects of how you look at life.
I think that it was a really good reminder that God is always present, and I think that sometimes things happen and you may look back and um, question, why things may happen. But then once you see it all pan out, once you see all the cards put out, then you're like, oh, like it all worked out like exactly how it was supposed to. And I think that there's so many different stories that happen along this trip, but I think that literally for me planning it to me being able to extend and just the people and the people I met along the way and the places I went, it really showed me that um yeah, I guess it was a reminder not to forget that like God was really present in my life and even when I would feel him and when I don't feel him. But definitely like this experience, I mean, it was being with everyone like Catholics from around the world, it's like I feel like impossible to not yeah, feel the unity and to to feel God present here.
Yeah. And will that also kind of like translate with you in your job? You're going to be coming back and, you already serve people for a living and help people as a first responder. I'm sure that really means a lot to you, and even more so knowing that you have, this weight of serving the community and, doing kindness and spreading kindness.
Yeah, I mean, I love what I do, and I'm able to help people with my job, fortunately. Um, and that type of job, everyone needs to have like good resources for mental health and your own well-being, and like my faith is a very big part of that. So yeah, definitely gonna bring this experience with me. Yeah, with my work, but also like through other aspects of my life. Yeah, just bring it with me and always remind myself about all the experience that I had because it's not something I'm gonna forget.